Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Advocate Rioba. In today's video, we're continuing a series on succession law, where you are succeeding or you're inheriting property from a dead person. So we have dealt with wills, we have dealt with estate planning, and if you don't know this concept, go back to my videos, you're going to get the concept. So before we go to where somebody has succeeded someone who did not leave a will, I believe it's important for us to learn what if you try and use somebody's property and you have not gone through the right channel. You might say, this is my father, it is my wife, it is my husband, I can do whatever I can do with the property. No. As long as the property is not yours, you cannot use it. So when you use a dead man's property or in any way meddle with the property, is called intermeddling. So what are the elements of intermeddling? You can intermeddle into a person's property by selling the property, by dividing the property, by mortgaging the property, and so forth. So in any way using a dead man's property without following the legal channel, you will be deemed as intermeddling. And what are these consequences? The consequences is that you can be fined up to 10,000 shillings or be imprisoned to 1 year in prison, or both. You can be told to pay a fine and still be in prison. So it's a very serious offense. You might ask, Wakili, what if there's an emergency with the family? Do we wait until the end of succession so that we can be able to deal with an emergency? An emergency can be a medical problem to one of the beneficiaries, education to one of the beneficiaries. So what can we do so that we don't intermeddle? What you can do is go approach the court through your appointed administrator. Tell the court, we have an emergency. Even it can be the expenses of the funeral. We need to sell off one property, or we need to get into the bank account of the deceased person and use some money for this particular emergency. And the court will grant you that limited grant as you wait to proceed with the rest of the succession proceedings. So it is important and imperative to understand that you cannot use a dead man's property, or else you fall into a legal problem. And the consequences can go as far as, when now the succession has been done properly, the administrator or the executor can decide that whatever you have made the deceased properties lose for when you are doing the intermeddling, you will be taken out of the benefiting from the deceased person's property. So it is important for you to understand that you have to follow the right channels in succeeding a deceased person's property, because that is not your property. I hope this is enlightening, and I hope that you can subscribe to the channel, share the video to the person who is going to be benefited by this video. And until the next one, when we are going now to go into intestate succession, stay safe and God bless. See you on the next one.